Today, I'd like to talk about the craft's most famous phrase. The craft's most famous phrase, and that's blessed be. Blessed be. It seems like the phrase blessed be has withstood the tests of time. Now, when I was coming up in the craft, the idea was always put forth that a witch who cannot curse cannot heal. And the idea of that is that you take on a great deal of responsibility when you study magic. It's not just you that gets affected. And so when you are working within the magical realm, you have to start being more responsible with the kinds of energies you hold. You don't really get to, fly off the handle as much as you used to, because now you have a lot more responsibility as far as the kind of energies that you are bringing to anything, because you are working within a realm where you are expanding the amount of results you get within the physical universe. Right? So whatever you bring to a situation it seems to start to have an expanded result. And so when you use the term blessed be, you start to have a different understanding about what your role is, what your function as a witch is. And really what your function is to bless that which is before you. To bless that which is before you. Because if you're not blessing, you're cursing. It's like you really are doing one or the other. Because as you get more and more powerful, you really realize that you have more and more of an effect on any sort of situation. And so if you're coming to situations with a very unclean mind, and I don't mean that in a sexual sense, I mean that you're not purifying your thoughts, then you tend to wreak havoc on those around you and then on yourself as well. So you get to this point where you recognize that blessed be is a very proactive phrase. Blessed be that which is in front of me. Blessed be that which is before me. And you recognize that you have a lot of power to change things in your life by simply blessing them. A lot of people have the misunderstanding about magic that when we cast a spell or when we have any kind of an influence over a situation, that we get to determine the ways and means. But that's not the truth at all. That's not the truth at all. In fact, witches that try to micromanage how their spells come about are usually filled with failure. Great amounts of failure. I had somebody ask me just the other day, they were looking at one of my debt spells, and they said, can I use this on my student loans? And I said, absolutely, any kind of debt you can use it on. They said, well, I want to use it so that all my student loans are canceled. And I said, well, you can try that, but that's not how the debt spell goes. The debt spell goes that your debts are taken care of. That you become debt free. It may be that they're all canceled. It may be that you get a windfall and that you pay for them. It may be that you just get more streamlined in how you're using your money, and that your debts get paid easier. But one way or another, they are going to be paid in an easy and relaxed manner and in healthy and positive ways. But you really can't determine the how. That's out of your hands. And when you are blessing a situation, when you're coming into a situation and you're just offering blessing, the same is true. You don't necessarily get to determine what that blessing is going to look like. You don't say, I bless you, therefore this is going to happen for you, or this is going to happen in this situation, or this is going to happen in a certain way. You're just saying, I bless. I'm here to bless. So, for instance, if you are in a situation, let's say where your car isn't working right, what you do then is you bring blessing to the car. You say, "Blessed be this car," right? And when you bring blessing to the car, you start to call to mind all of the good things that car does for you. Blessed be this car. It gives me great transportation. It gets me where I need to go. It's a great color or whatever. It's very comfortable and it normally rides very well. And you start to bring blessing and bring to mind all of the things that are great about this car. And through that blessing, the car starts to work better. Now that could be that that just in a snap everything just works and that's all there is to it. I've seen that happen many times where the car just petered out and everybody's thought, oh, what do we do? And I blessed the car, silently. You don't make a show of this sort of thing. I don't think anybody else knew I was doing this. I blessed the car and then all of a sudden the car started and it all was well. Sometimes then you get led to the right mechanic and it happens in a way that's very affordable and very easy. And, it looks for all intents and purposes like whether or not you blessed it, it would have happened well. But what you're doing when you bless something is you're opening the road for divine right action to come in and manifest itself and to show itself and to prove itself in your life. So if you recognize that there's always a choice in any situation, whether you're going to go down the road of you figuring everything out on your own, or you're going to go down the road where you allow Spirit to show you the way. And if you're letting Spirit show you the way, that's the road of blessing. That's the road of intuition. That's the road of magic. And that way that you're open to things working out in ways that are better and different than anything that you could have come up with on your own. And you do that through blessing. We always talk about with magic that you don't want to work magic on people. Usually, it's usually for yourself that you want to work magic on. Occasionally, if it's a close relative or a family member or a household member, yeah, obviously, if there's healing or something that needs to happen or they're in a spot, yeah, sometimes you can do spells for them. But blessing someone is not the same thing as casting a spell on them. Okay? You're not actually manipulating situations. You're not actually, calling forth specific energies. You're not actually bringing about techniques of changing reality for them. You're not actually casting spells on them in a organized manner. When you bless someone, it's just generic. You're just bringing blessing where you go. And that is something, as a witch especially, that is something that becomes rote. It's just what you do. It's how you get more powerful. It's how things work out for you, is wherever you go, you dispense blessing. Whoever you come in contact with, you dispense blessing. Because you know that you're going to be a force for change, for good or for ill, no matter what you do, because of the kind of work you're doing. So you know that things are going to be happening in your presence. So if you bring blessing, then you know that the things that are going to be happening in your present, Spirit is in charge of those things, rather than your ego being in charge of those things. In other words, if I come into a situation and all I have is judgment about this person, about what they're wearing, how their hair looks, how many tattoos they have, what is that they're saying, they don't know what they're talking about, all of these kinds of judgments, then I'm bringing poison into that situation, and it may affect that person, but mostly it's going to affect me, because as a result of me growing in my magical skills, like I said, wherever I go and wherever there is an encounter, my effect within that encounter is heightened. So I want to make sure that what I'm bringing is blessing there. It's good for them, but it's also extremely good for me. It's not that you can't have an opinion about what people do, say, or wear, or any of that, but you're not judging them for it. You're not cursing them for it. You're blessing them for it, right? Even Jesus cursed. He had a bad day. I mean, he had a whole hissy fit in the temple, when the money changers were there, and he was just like, "Rah!" and he went off. And then I can't remember if it was on the way to it or the way from it. He was going to stop at a fig tree and eat something, and there were no figs on it, so he cursed the thing. So everybody has a bad day, but it just goes to show you, when you have a bad day and you bring a lot of power to a situation, you can really create some havoc. When you decide that you're going to allow yourself to study magic and to study the craft and to start really bringing about powerful ability to change in any situation, you really do need to take responsibility for yourself and ask yourself, what's my function? What's my function? Because really, it's one or the other. There's no middle ground. You're either blessing or you're cursing. You can't really. There's no sort of middle ground. There's no sort of sitting still anymore. In any situation, you're blessing or cursing. So what are you bringing? So that's what we don't say cursed be. That's not part of the curriculum to say cursed be. I mean, some maybe some circles do, but not in the craft the way I was brought up. And the reason why we say blessed be is to keep us on the right beam, so that we recognize we're getting more and more powerful every single day, and with power comes great responsibility. And it's almost as if the more you can prove to your deep mind that you're using your power on behalf of spirit, then the more power is given to you. So you can use blessed be in every single situation you find yourself in, good, bad, or indifferent. And all that's doing is aligning it to the divine design. There's a divine design in an acorn, right? When you plant an acorn, the acorn knows exactly what to do in order to ultimately create a forest. That's the design in there, is to create a forest, not just a tree, but a forest. There's a divine design in an embryo. It knows exactly what to do to create a human body. There's a divine design in every aspect of creation. And so there's a divine design for you as well. But to the degree that you're thinking, what's in it for me, and not, and again, there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself, but I'm talking about separating yourself out from the divine design and thinking in terms of how can I get my needs met all by myself, separate and distinct from everybody else. Then you're not blessing anything. You're not aligning with the divine design. You're not allowing yourself to be awed and amazed at the way things can work out for you. You're calculating and manipulating and trying to get your needs met in a way that's based on fear. And so ultimately, that's a type of cursing. You're cursing yourself when you do that. So the more powerful you become, the more you want to keep plugging into that divine design rather than trying to do everything all by yourself. When you start thinking all by yourself rather than thinking with spirit, when you start having plans that are all by yourself, separate from spirit, when you start having thoughts that are super private that you don't share with spirit, that's when you get into those kinds of cursing mentalities. And those curses are real. Those curses are real. Now, the bulk of the curses that we see in the world are self-induced, and people get so upset. They get so upset when they hear me say that. When they come for, like, I need to get a reversal spell for a curse. Well, yeah, we've got them, and they'll work on any kind of curse. But I'll guarantee you, the bulk of the curses that you're dealing with are ones that you've placed on yourself, because those are the ones that have the most power. Curses that somebody else puts on you don't have nearly the punch the curses that you've placed on yourself do. But people are like, no. It's them. It's them. Somebody's really, there are evil witches out there that are cursing me, and that's why I have the problems that I have. Well, if that's true, you can definitely lift those, but I doubt it. I doubt that that's really the bottom line, because even if it's true, the reason why you're vulnerable to those curses is based on your own cursing mentality. And a cursing mentality really is just the mentality that doesn't bless. It's the lack of blessing in and of itself that primes you to curse yourself. Right? It's not so much that you're on purpose going out and cursing yourself. You're doing it by rote, by not blessing. The degree to which you are not blessing in any situation is the degree to which you are cursing it. There's really no middle ground. There's no sort of neutral ground where it's not one or the other. It is always one or the other. And if you live your life recognizing that I'm either blessing or cursing, and I'm really powerful, I'm really, really powerful because God created me to be that way. God created me to be a powerful force in this universe. And the more that I study this stuff and the more that I get into increasing my power, the more that proves itself to me. And therefore, the more responsibility that I have. And the more responsibility that I have to make sure that I lead with blessed be. I don't have to say it out loud. I don't have to make sure that people hear it, because that becomes weird too. When you say blessed be, but you don't know what the heck you're talking about. No, blessed be. It's just like a hi. It's like a how you doing? But it doesn't really pack the same punch as meaning it and understanding what blessed be means. Blessed be what? Blessed be this situation. Blessed be this encounter. Blessed be you. Blessed be me. Blessed be where I'm going. Blessed be this home. Blessed be this car. Blessed be this relationship. It's very different than just saying blessed be and not understanding what you're talking about. A witch that cannot curse cannot heal, but a witch's blessing is very powerful. At least it used to be. So act like it. That's my recommendation to you, is just act like it. Act like you really are powerful. Act like you really are powerful. If stuff isn't working in your life, own it. Just like, whoa, look at all the cursing I've been doing. Play with that idea and see if it doesn't break some things apart for you. Doesn't give you more power in your spells to recognize, whoa, I'm either hexing or healing. I'm either blessing or cursing here. There's no middle ground. I'm on a roll no matter what I do, no matter where I go. I have a lot of power. Now, why is it that we don't want to curse? Why is it that we don't want to curse? Well, because an idea doesn't leave its source, A Course in Miracles teaches us. And we've always taught that in the craft, even without A Course in Miracles. But I like the way that that's phrased. Where would it go? Because there's only mind. There's no space, and there's no time in the world of the astral. It's all now. So if you're cursing someone, it's not like it's leaving you and it's going to go do its thing, and then if you're really skilled, it's not going to come back on you. There's nothing to come back on you. It's what you're living with. It is the tendency of the mind to expand, which is why it appears on the physical plane as though things come back to us multiplied. But they never left to begin with. So when you curse someone intentionally or unintentionally, it's not like there's energy leaving you and that you can do something to shield yourself from it coming back on you. You can't shield yourself from your own mind. There's no place to hide from your own mind. So you're going to have to contend with your own curse one way or another. So that's why we don't curse. It's not because it's some sort of moralism. That has no place in the craft. Moralism doesn't. Ethics are just basically common sense. Why do you wash your hands in this physical universe? To protect yourself from viruses and bacteria, right? Why do you wear a seatbelt? To protect yourself in case you get in a collision. Why do you have a fire extinguisher? To protect yourself in case there's a fire. Why do you bless? Because you protect yourself. You protect yourself and you create more of what you want. Why do you refrain from cursing? Because it's smart. It's smart to refrain from cursing. But most people don't curse on purpose. Most people aren't going and burning candles to curse people on purpose, but they do show up into encounters with a shitload of judgment, a whole lot of judgment, a whole lot of condemnation, a whole lot of hatred and venom for things that they feel very self-righteous about. It's usually politics or religion or gender or race or all kinds of stuff that on paper, you probably have a point. But the energy doesn't really care what your point is. The energy is, I'm here to curse you. I'm here to hate you. I'm here to loathe you. Right? And that has a great deal of impact on your life and everybody else's life around you, especially if you're on this path. Especially if you're on this path, not because this path is some sort of something special, but this path is all about increasing your power and increasing the effect you have on the physical plane. So that's why we say blessed be. It's to keep our minds focused on our function here and our function is to bless. Our function is to dispense blessings at every turn, especially in areas and places where it doesn't feel good. It's easy to bless people you love. It's easy to bless situations that are fabulous, right? But it takes a lot of discipline to bless things that aren't working for you. It takes a lot of discipline to bless people that are in your presence or in your mind that are saying or doing things that you don't agree with. That takes a lot more work, but that's where it's most important. And you can practice by just watching television, watching a news show where there's maybe commentators or interviews going on where there's controversial topics that you can get upset about, or maybe watching, a reality show where you see people getting upset about certain things, and sit and practice blessing them. Just bless them without judgment, without choosing who deserves your blessing and who doesn't. You just bless and you bless and you bless and you bless just for practice. Think of it as sort of like target practice. Just to hone your powers of blessing. And it comes in handy. You can just take a magazine with political figures or pop culture figures and go through. And then when you hit someone that just really bugs you, start blessing them. And then you go on to the next and then on to the next. Take a couple minutes every day and just do that as a primer to get you to get you ready for what your real function here is, so that when you are in any kind of encounter, you have all the power. As long as you understand, blessed be is a real power phrase. It's not just a way of saying, hiya, how's it going? It means I confer the blessings of the entire universe on this situation, in this encounter, on this person. No matter what they've done, no matter what they've said, no matter how bad I think that they are in my personality, no matter what. The rain falls on good people and bad people. The sun shines on good people and bad people. The gravity works for good people and bad people, as far as how I might judge them as good or bad. So therefore, I have to take a cue from the universe. And my blessing doesn't have to differentiate from who I think is worthy and who isn't. And the more I can do that, the more power I get to make changes in my life the way that I deserve to have those changes be. The more I'm not willing to do that, the more I'm willing to withdraw or withhold my blessing. That is the degree to which I'm cursing those people, inadvertently perhaps, but still cursing them. And then I get to contend with those kinds of effects in my life as well. So it becomes less of a mystery when things are working and things aren't working for you. And I can see in my own life when something's not working out for me. Well, what am I bringing to the situation? How much judgment, how much condemnation am I bringing to the situation? Well, duh. Then why is it such a mystery that it's not working out for me? I'm withholding blessing, right? So then once I realize that, it's just a matter of reorienting myself and coming back to blessed be this situation, blessed be this person, blessed be this encounter, blessed be this bill, blessed be this whatever it is. And really bringing the blessing and lining myself back up to that divine design so that things can work out the way they're supposed to. And everything always does if you get your mind straight. So remind yourself frequently this week, blessed be is not just a greeting. It's a very potent magical tool that offers you the secrets of success in all magic. Everything good can happen for you to the degree that you are willing to bless it as being such. All right, well, thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. I appreciate you. And until next time, much love and many, many blessings.